By now, you are well aware of the birthday card that Donald Trump sent Jeffrey Epstein for Epstein's 50th birthday in 2003. We did a whole report on it here on the MeidasTouch network and showed you Donald Trump's signature. Donald Trump is denying that's his signature, and his entire regime is saying it's a forgery, which is utterly absurd. But I want to dig deeper right now and talk about the other secrets that are contained in that birthday book for Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday. There are other very disturbing references to Donald Trump in that book that I want to share with you. And there are also a lot of other kind of coded language, which seems to be indicative of the crimes and despicable behavior that Epstein was involved in. But I'll let you form your own opinions here. So just to jog your memory, the House Oversight Committee subpoenaed this birthday book from the Jeffrey Epstein estate. The Epstein estate is basically administering all of the settlements and all of the cases against Epstein, and they're in custody and control of lots of evidence relating to Epstein. The MAGA Republicans did not want to subpoena this. Hat tip to the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee, led by their new ranking member, Democratic Congressmember Robert Garcia, who pushed to subpoena this book. So we now have the full book. So, of course, by now you're well aware of the Trump letter, where Trump talks about how, there are secrets that they share. A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. And then he said, basically, in every day, may every day be another wonderful secret. And then he goes on to talk about how enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? So the House Oversight Dem says, here it is. We've got Trump's birthday note to Jeffrey Epstein about what Donald Trump actually said in it. Trump claims it didn't exist. But then there's this from the birthday book as well, as the House Oversight Committee explains. Here's a new page from Epstein's birthday book. Epstein and a longtime Mar-a-Lago member joking about selling a fully depreciated woman to Donald Trump for $22,500. It's a photo of friends of Jeffrey Epstein's. This is one of Epstein's friends and Mar-a-Lago member, Joel Pascoe, who made a crude joke about a woman that Trump and Epstein socialized with and may have done more with in the 1990s. According to people familiar with the matter, you take a look at what it says right here, and it's quite disturbing indeed. Let's read it together. It says, Jeffrey, showing early talents with money and women, sells fully depreciated, and then the woman's name. They're saying that she's fully depreciated, to Donald Trump for $22,500. Showed early people skills too. Even though I handled the deal, I didn't get any of the money or the girl. Exclamation point. And it's Epstein and others, part of the Mar-a-Lago club, holding this check that basically was showing Donald Trump buying this girl, as they're kind of mocking her, a fully depreciated girl that Trump is buying from Epstein. It's really despicable stuff. The book was about 238 pages or so. I went through the book. I'll keep going through some other pages so you can see. There was this from the book. Before I was a 22-year-old divorcee working as a hostess in a hotel restaurant. After Jeffrey, I now live in New York City and have traveled to Paris, London, Milan, Copenhagen, Tokyo, Hong Kong. She lists a bunch of cities. I have met Prince Andrew, President Clinton, Sultan of Brunei, Donald Trump, and then it goes on to list other people. And then it talks about, I have flown on the Concorde, gone skydiving, taking a flying lesson. Again, you see that Donald Trump is referenced as someone that Epstein introduced her to. Then there's this. Jeffrey, there are no words to describe how much I appreciate and admire you. I believe you are the most extraordinary person I've ever met, and can't believe how lucky I am to have become part of your life. What you have shown and taught me in 1 year is more important than what most people experience in a lifetime. What else can I say but? And then but is spelled like a B-U-T-T, redacted images of a woman of indeterminate age or a girl of indeterminate age, with redactions over her chest and her face. And then it goes on to say, thank you. And then there's a photo of Jeffrey Epstein putting his hand in the pants of that girl right there. You keep on reading on more. This looks like it's from Leslie Wexler, the guy who started Victoria's Secret, who was a client of Epstein's, or Epstein managed his money, I should say. Dear Jeffrey, I wanted to get you what you wanted, so here it is. And it is dated January 20th, 2003. It's a doodled photograph of breasts. Happy birthday, your friend Leslie. This is from Alan Dershowitz, December 11th, 2002. Dear Jeffrey, as a birthday gift to you, I managed to obtain an early version of the Vanity Unfair article. I talked them into changing the focus from you to Bill Clinton, as you will see from the enclosed excerpt. Happy birthday and best regards. And then it's a mock-up of a fake magazine called Vanity Unfair. And the mock headlines in this fake magazine called Vanity Unfair is Jeffrey Epstein's A Bloody Summer, Jeffrey Epstein's, and then expletives, rampage, bring it on, Jeffrey, consume me, Jeffrey, intoxicate me, Jeffrey, Nicole Kidman bears her soul. Was it Jeffrey Epstein exclusive? The 100-year-old mystery solved. So that's, I guess, what they find funny. It's pretty sick stuff. Here you have Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein in a pool together. She's topless. And there's obviously a black redaction bar over her breasts. But in the actual book, she's topless. Notably, Ghislaine Maxwell said during her interview with Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney, now the number 2 at the DOJ, that she really didn't know anything about this book. She barely remembered anything about it. Well, she's naked in the book and she's referenced throughout it and she put it together. There's another name for that. It's called perjury. I'll play you that audio in just a moment. There are creepy pictures like this of Jeffrey Epstein and some of his guy friends in their underwear. You see it right there. Then there's poems, creepy poems in this book. Like this one. Who is the bum over there? Why, it's Jeffrey, I declare, the man of means, in a sweatshirt and jeans, at a black tie formal affair. To add to life's piquancy, Jeffrey, with increasing frequency, on any occasion with little persuasion, will outrage the public decency. I have heard that Jeffrey will act with morals, decorum, and tact, with honor, goodwill, and truth, but forsooth this information may be inexact. As far as I can detect, Jeffrey seems to select to express his mood, terms rude, crude and lewd, and politically incorrect. Jeffrey had half a century with credentials plenipotentiary, though up to no good whenever he could, he avoids the penitentiary. So I guess making jokes about avoiding the penitentiary for having a sex pedo trafficking ring. There are cartoons like this of Jeffrey Epstein giving little girls balloons, and then you see the jet. So it starts off little girls getting balloons, and then you see the jet, and then those girls are massaging Jeffrey Epstein and touching his genitals in this cartoon. And then it says, what a great country. And it seems to be a cartoon of Epstein or Epstein's friends grooming underage girls to perform sex acts on him on his island. That's what the photo appears to be to me. There's messages like this. 2 very young girls, probably just 17, and were riding in my father's caddy, Park Avenue, top down, smooching it up in a car, drop dead, laughing. Other people showed photos of Epstein. Girls on my boat. We picked up girls on the beach, went out on boat. I'll tell them with knife in my hand to take suits off. But Warren tells, don't worry, his name is JN. He's just joking. He lives at so-and-so. I tell Mark to throw him into the water. He did. Castaways Volume 1. I was porking some girls in bed and Jeffrey brings in the maid to make bed. She left screaming and never came back. We both in bed porking some girls. I said, what do you think, while he's shoving penicillin down my throat? There's this letter from someone named Johnny Boy Kafka, January 15, 2003. Dearest Jeff, 50 years old. You really had a pretty amazing life. Amazing because of where and when it started. Paula and Seymour effing. But the curses are there. Who was there to tell him where to stick it? Who told him to spit on her C word for vagina to make it wet? Maybe they had more on the ball than we all give them credit for. Anyway, that night back in 1953, as they lay there intoxicated from their lovemaking, little did they know they would be bringing into the world early the next year. Let's fast forward. I remember summers when Warren would always work some shit-ass job. Nathan's for minimum wage. I would always find something. Male Ego in Brighton Beach, and Frog would too, Cabana Boy. But you, Jeff, would never work. Yes, you were special. You did things like music camps in Michigan, which brings me to when you lost your virginity. You may not remember, but I was under the same roof that New Year's Eve in 67. The first time I ever flew was with you. I went with you to Michigan to visit your friend, the Interchin girl, for New Year's. It was also the first time I had ever laid eyes on a bright, attractive, bubbly, blue-eyed Midwestern female. She was like an alien to me. She wasn't Jewish or Italian. Wasn't she your first? My first was up in Monticello, where I spent part of the summer with Lloyd and Andy working at Playland Arcade. In Monticello, it was Lloyd's girlfriend. Anyway, back to the Michigan trip because it was significant. Jeff, you took me with you. It was my first time out of Brooklyn. It was no big deal, but we went, and nobody else ever went anywhere back when and where we came from. Then there's this image in the book. Are you sure this will make my winky grow? Oh my, never seen those pants before. Waiting for my foot massage. And it's photos of Epstein in, I guess, a spa waiting to get massaged. It's unclear. There's this photo that he received, very creepy, men wearing masks. Finally at home of our friends, let's call him Mr. Brown. Jeffrey unveiled his plan. To some, it may have seemed a get-rich-quick scheme, but to me, it was pure genius. Rob and kill was the name of the plan. The first victim, redaction, to be attacked and brutally plundered. Would she want more than that? On the boardwalk in Venice Beach, broad daylight. The dastardly thieves were never caught. Postscript. I retired from the life, but I recently read an article in New York, which led me to believe that my old friend Mr. E had continued on and became an industry leader. Is he referring to the New York Magazine article where Donald Trump said that Epstein likes women on the younger side? There's photos like this, and thought you might like some bikini shots. Bye-bye. Leaving you with some interesting friends to entertain instead. It's woman of indeterminate age. Looks like she's in her underwear and a short tank top. Or in one of his glorious homes that he likes to share with his friends, showing the Epstein Island. A photo right here of a woman's buttocks. Forever Aspen with Francis, Snow Days, The Real Mushrooms. All the stuff is like very coded. There's this letter that he received. Jizzies, a highly excited and distracted state of mind. Freakaboo, who's watching who, not a cloud in the sky. To a collector of more than beautiful minds. He whom appreciates architecture, undulating landscapes, beauty marks, and ... I mean, these seems to be all coded for girls. I understand years ago, after Ghislaine came to Palm Beach, horse show, looking for what I thought was a horse, that she was on a mission. Mission for what? For a collection of breast photos, a compilation, of course, for you. I came to see you some months later. You told me to take off my top. With the usual Epstein smile, you looked at my breasts and said, yeah, I was right. Memory served you correctly. The beauty mark was on the right breast. One quotable memory to a true friend with whom I shared so many complicities. I love you and wish you the best next 50 years. P.S. I know from the phone exchange some years back, you like my bra. So Jeffrey, which word out of this text do you understand? Just a beauty mark. And then there appears to be a photo of this person. Another photo of some young lady visiting you down in Palm Beach. Can't get a second of privacy with you and a camera around it. Ha. There's this photo that says booby. Happy birthday, you old fart. Don't worry. In your case, getting older, getting better. The memories. Then it goes and lists Bloomy's lingerie department. Are you lost? Then it talks about buying lingerie, chicken soup. Are you Jewish? Who's Jewish? What does he do for a living? I have made it. Then there seems to be these photos sent by, specially commissioned by Henry Rozovsky, it says. Not sure if that was an old Harvard dean. I'm not sure who that is, but it looks like they're photos of breasts smushed or pressed down onto a piece of paper. And then there's a section called Children, which is redacted photos of children in pajamas and not wearing all that much clothes. Most of that's redacted. Just creepy letters from looks like little kids. Here comes the bride, all dressed in white. Where is the groom? He's in the ladies' room. Where is his reminder? Work here. It's unclear what the rest of the word says, but it seems to be saying Jeffrey's in the ladies' room, which is deeply disturbing and sick. Just so you see, here's Ghislaine Maxwell claiming that she doesn't know anything that's in this book at all, or this book is new to her. There's another word for it called perjury. Play this clip.
We talked a few minutes ago about this birthday book that there's been press about. I understand you don't remember anything with President Trump, or a lot about the book anyway. Do you remember asking President Trump to submit a letter for that?
I do not.
And then, of course, the Trump regime, like Caroline Leavitt, saying that the Trump letter is a forgery, that what the Epstein estate planted it in there 20 years ago or so in order to harm Donald Trump. I mean, with all those other letters that I just read to you, others that also reference Donald Trump.